G'day guys, EyeSpyJD here from the TheJDClan, and today we are bringing you episode 1 of our Warframe reviews. So for episode 1 we're going to be bringing you Vault, which is the first Warframe that I went out and made, other than Mag, who was my first ever Warframe. Vault, straight off the bat, I would recommend. He's very fun. It's a very high damage class. Not that big on any team moves or anything, but it's great for spamming your energy and killing lots of enemies quickly. He's described in game as a high damage electric class that is a strong alternative to gunplay. So I'd agree with that pretty well. I mean, you still need your gun, of course, but his special overload attack is amazing for clearing out big rooms, especially Corpus, and I think it does triple damage to walkers, so it's really good for that. So Vault comes with 4 different moves. His first move is Shock, which shocks and damages one target enemy and has about a 10% chance to deal AoE stun to surrounding enemies. This is a really good move to use. I like to use it for dealing high damage to one single enemy. The AoE doesn't work that often, so it's not that great to rely on that. But yeah, it's a really good move to use on long range Corpus, people that you can't be bothered aiming and shooting at, especially if you're using a gun like the Gorgon or anything like that. His second move is Speed, which is literally just you increase your run speed for a certain amount of time depending on how high your level of the mod is. It really doesn't have that many uses unless you're just one of those people that want to power through levels and keep spamming that, but otherwise I never touch it. I save my mod room for other things. His third mod is Electric Shield, which you place up an energy shield where bullets can't pass through it. You can apparently shoot through it. I've tried it and it doesn't seem to work, but apparently you can shoot through your own shield and it lowers the damage of your bullets but adds electricity to them. And apparently if you shoot through this shield at infested, especially ancients, you do extra damage, which would be really handy because otherwise Vault has no real moves to use against ancients or infested. He's a lot better suited for Corpus and Grineer. The final move is Overload, which is absolutely awesome. You do a massive electric shock, which shocks all enemies around you, but depending on how many electronics you have around you, it also boosts the range and damage of your move. So if you're in a room with a lot of lights and things like that around, you can just destroy everything. This is especially good if you pair it with like the stretch and focus mods, which is what I do and I'll talk about soon. So yeah, that's his 4 moves. I'd say Speed and Electric Shield are a bit, well, I don't ever touch them, so I just go with Shock and Overload are the great things because I use Vault for my high damage Warframe, and they're the highest damage moves. Moving on to my recommended mod setup for Vault. Firstly, as I said before, I reckon you should definitely have Shock on. I put that on max level, so I have the max amount of damage on that. That's again really good for hitting those long range Corpus or just people who can't be bothered shooting. Secondly, Overload, again max level, that gives you the maximum damage and range on that thing. Also just always keep in mind whenever you use that to try and get near some electronics, but even if you're not, that's still really powerful. That's all I've got for the for the abilities. Otherwise everything else is just modding mods. So I've got on here Focus on my polarity there, the little triangle one, so that's really good for boosting the strength of Overload and Shock. So again, like I said, this is my high damage Warframe, so I recommend you put Focus on and level that up as much as you can. 10's about as far as I got before I ran out of money. And also because I like it as a spam class, I've got Flow on up above there, again on a polarity, so I think that's level 6 rank. My focus there was level 10, and they're both on polarity, so they're halved. For my last two ones, I've got stretch, which increases my range. That does stack for overload, so that's about the only reason I've got that on there. And finally, I've got vitality, so you can swap that out for whatever you want, really. You can change it around however you please, but I've just got vitality on there to give me some survivability. So yeah, that's about it. I don't have Volt's helmet, which increases your power strength with the trade-off of lower stamina. I think that sounds like a really good one, so if you could get the blueprint and build Volt's helmet, I would recommend wearing that. So finally, we're going to go through where you can find all the blueprint parts for Volt if you want to build him. First of all, I recommend you do. He's a very fun class, my favorite. I still like Mag a bit better, but Volt is definitely my second favorite. So where you've got to go is Themisto, which is in Jupiter. Jupiter is the biggest planet in our solar system, so that's an easy one to find if you can't read. So yeah, go to Themisto, and you have to fight J3 Golem, which is a big kind of ancient guy. He deals lots of poison damage, and there's lots of infested around, so bring your fire weapons and bring your teammates who are good against infested. For J3 Golem, I definitely recommend going with the Mag Excalibur team, which we will show you in a later episode where we talk about Mag or Excalibur. There's an awesome little team up move you can do there, and it makes killing J3 really quickly. So yeah, that's where you get the systems, the chassis, and the helmet. When I was doing it, I got the helmet and the chassis probably about 5 or up to 10 times each before I finally got the systems. So that drove me crazy, but maybe you guys will be luckier. It should be random drops, and it's not too costly to build it after that. So happy hunting.